Hello children, today let us read and understand lesson number 3 from your supplementary reader. The name of the lesson is A Slight Misunderstanding. Slight means thoda sa. Misunderstanding means galat fahmi. And the writer is J.B. Boothroyd. He was an English humorist. Who is a humorist? A humorous writer, performer or artist. That is a humorist. So let us read the story and understand. The narrator, so this is the narrator, okay, he is the main character. So he says that he recently purchased one of those ordinary little black cars that everybody else seems to have. So he is saying that he doesn't know why that whenever he gets a new car, everybody seems to have the same idea of owning a similar car. So that means many little black cars were seen in the road. So anyway, he drove into his nearby shopping center the other Saturday to get some fish, groceries and dry cleaning. So he says that it's terrible, absolutely terrible shopping in that town. Now why is he saying that it is a terrible experience to shop in that town? Because 10,000 cars and there is no space to park. The only place left is the entrance to the fire station. But however, on that particular morning, he finished his work in record time and put all the things in the boot. Boot means space at the back of a car used for carrying bags. And he drove back home. So when he reached halfway, he felt that a rather startling thing has happened. So what is startling? Startling means sudden and surprising thing. So what is that startling thing? So he found that he was being licked on the back of the neck by a dog. So it is not surprising if he had carried his dog with him, but that day he did not take his dog with him. So that is why he is saying that something startling thing happened. So the narrator, he stopped the car and turned back and looked. So what was there? There was a dog that was a complete stranger to him with his tongue hanging out and ready to go for another lick. So the narrator said, "Hello, whose doggy are you?" So obviously he did not get any answer, and then he saw that the dog's name was there on his collar and the name was Arthur. So he felt that is a pretty silly name for a dog. And then there was the address of a farm on the other side of the town. This farm was about 7 miles back in the wrong direction. So he is saying that he understood what had actually happened. It was entirely his fault for not locking up the car. Because here in this place, usually people do not lock the car because having to stop at 14 different shops and locking each time is difficult. So he is saying that what had happened was that whoever owned the dog had got up taking the doggy around and had put him in the car to wait, and of course they had put the dog in his car and not theirs. So he was not able to decide what to do about it. And he was supposed to be back at home at 1 o'clock with the fish. And if he took the dog home, he may not get terribly well with his dog. And on the other hand, if he took him back and handed him to the police station, there will be all those forms to fill and affidavits to swear. Affidavits means written statements. So it will take time. So what did he do? He opened the cubby hole. Cubby hole means a small storage space in the front of a car, usually used for keeping small things. So he opened the cubby hole to see if he had got any chewing gum to help him think. But there was no chewing gum. So what he got? He got was a rather nice woman's handbag. So in the cubby hole, what was there? A nice handbag was there. And he had never seen such a handbag before in his life, with all the usual objects that a handbag usually have, except chewing gum. So now the situation had taken a new twist. So what was the twist? Actually, the narrator was in the wrong car That means he was in the dog's car. Okay, that means he was in the dog's owner's car. So now he doesn't know what to do. For all I knew, the dog and handbag women. So he's saying that the lady, that means the owner of the car, might have already reported the car stolen, and he could see himself being in the police station now under different situation. So it took quite a bit of courage to turn around and go back. That was the only thing to do. So he went back, drove very slowly up and down High Street and looking for his car. And the car number is NPM 675. Nothing. He could see many little black cars except his car. So suddenly he got an idea that he should go to the police station and report a stolen car. But again he decided not to go. It may look a little fishy. Fishy means false. Driving up to the police station in a black car and reporting about a stolen car similar to the one he was driving. So the police will put him behind the bars. So he decided to go to the farmhouse in the address that it was mentioned in the collar of the dog, and tell everything honestly. So this is what he did. So he searched a little and he got the farmhouse that was at the end of a mud lane, just off a side road. So however I made it, and this farmhouse turned out to be a little pleasant one, with a bit of courtyard in front and few cows. And he got out of the car, so did the dog. That means even the doggy came out, and he was just going to knock on the door when a man opened it and said, "Come on, darling, where have you been? I'm starving." And then he looked at the narrator and said, "Oh, hello." So the narrator said, "Hello, I have brought your dog, Arthur, back." So he said, "What do you mean, Arthur? I am Arthur." That is the doggy's name is Shyla. Okay. So now the narrator said, "I'm afraid that your wife is driving my car. She has taken my car and I am in her car." So he said, "Isn't this your car?" And the narrator said, "No, my car is NPM 675. Then he said, "See the number of the car, it is 675 only." So the narrator went and looked at the number plate, and of course the car's number was NPM 675. So he understood that he had been right. The narrator had been right. He was driving the correct car. So he understood that is why he could not spot his car on High Street, because he was actually driving it. So the farmer took it he did not make an issue of it. He said, "Let us go inside and have a cup of tea and wait for his wife to come up." So they had 2 cups of coffee each, and then the wife came in her little black car saying that she had been robbed of the dog and the handbag. And her husband said, "No, darling, you have put them in this person's car." So he doesn't know the narrator's name, so he said that, "Mr. what is its car?" So she thought for a minute and then said, "Of course, it must have been, this might have happened when she went back to have a talk with Mabel in the fruit shop." And she remembered that she felt that actually the car is felt in a different place. उसको लगा कि कार सही जगह पे पार्क नहीं किया, ऐसा लगा भी उस टाइम. So of course they all had a good laugh, and the whole thing happened on a very happy note. That means both the parties, they were very cordial with each other. But there was just one slight problem as far as he was concerned, because when he reached back home it was 2:20, and his wife, of course, she was a bit upset. She was more upset when she went down to get the fish and groceries and the dry cleaning out of the boot, but there was nothing in there. What was there? There was a rather small bale of hay. So this time he had got the wrong car. The narrator drove back home in the wrong car. So this is the summary of the story.